We have a lot of the cooperation in India ever since 15 years ago. I think they already have done cooperation with Tata Group, I think. Every time I went to India, I learned something new.
Welcome back to the another episode of Jan Man Gan. And today we are honored to have Dr. Dennis Hu. He is the president of Foundation for Commerce and Cultural Interchange, FCCI Taiwan, and chair of the Asian ICT Council at CACCI, which stands for Confederation of Asia Pacific Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Dr. Hu is a visionary leader shaping Taiwan's global engagement at the intersection of technology, commerce, and diplomacy. As president of the FCCI, he has spent over a decade building economic and technological bridges between Taiwan and countries across Asia, with India as a special focus. Now, Dr. Hu is one of the earliest advocates for the India-Taiwan ICT Cooperation, championing forums that connects Indian startups, the policymakers, the government, and the tech leaders with Taiwan's semiconductor and electronics ecosystem. He has also engaged deeply with Indian digital initiatives like the Digital India, Startup India, Make in India, and also exploring how the Taiwan's world-class complement India's software and design talent. So let's hear Dr. Dennis Hu, sir, from you. How was your experience working with Indian government?
Thank you for having me here today, Bhumika. So it's my great pleasure to participate in this podcast. So I think I had a long friendship in India. In fact, I went to India in I think about 2010. It's over 15 years ago, I think. So I think it's also got a lot of the visit to India and involved in India-Taiwan cooperation project. We should get more cooperation again. And also, I think I can give you some example. In the last 15 years, I have been visited to India for over 20 times. We held a lot of the delegation went to India, and we organized many, we call the ITCF. It's called India-Taiwan Cooperation Forum, almost every year. So it's over, I think now it's the 15th anniversary already, I think. And also we have now your program is called the India-Taiwan Dialogue. To be frankly, we already have the Taiwan-India dialogue ever since 10 years ago. At that time, we call it twin dialogue. Twin. That means a twin. Okay, so the TWIN. So it's in English, twin. That means a Taiwan-India twin dialogue. So we have the dialogue in startup innovation, and also we have the dialogue with India about talent exchange. And we have the dialogue with like Karnataka government, Hyderabad, and that's the Telangana government. And also in New Delhi, we have many cooperation about that. Therefore, I think that's we are not keep quiet, but of course, in some way, we because India is such a big country, so I don't see any quiet, and I think we can keep louder and louder. Okay, thank you.
Agreed, sir. Wow. So, like if you have one policy for India and one for Taiwan to strengthen these visions, what that would be?
Yeah, as I mentioned that I went to India over 20 times. In fact, I have participated many industry events and industry meeting, as well as some of the joint meeting with the government, no matter in Indian government or Taiwan government. The three principles, I think I would like to give the advice both to Taiwan and to India. The first one is if you talk about the policy, when we planning or issue or maybe raise a policy, first I think has to be practical and tangible. Number one, practical and tangible. The second one, The policy has to be clarity and certainty. Okay, clarity and certainty. The third one is most important. The third one is most important is if we talk about policy between for the cooperation between both sides, has to be win-win for mutual benefit in a long run. In a long run, I think this is a three. Maybe I can share with you about my experiences, join some discussion about the policy and for the Indian Taiwan cooperation. So it's not only one advice to one policy. So actually, I think it's put to all the policies when Taiwan, India go for cooperation. It's you can say it's kind of the principle when we planning or negotiate some policy together. I think those are three principles. One is the practical and the tangible. The second is the clarity and the certainty. The third one is the mutual benefit for a win-win in the long run. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, sir. Very correctly said, sir. Mutual win-win is what we are also here for.
Yeah.
So very next question is on the very hot topic, that is semiconductor. Since India was expecting a plant of TSMC to be set up in India, but it did not happen. Like, what are your thoughts that now India is working with PSMC and not TSMC? What are your thoughts?
Every company, when they do their investment or global planning or global establishment, they will have their company strategy. They will consider about comparative advantage to different region, different location, different country. So there's some company, they already invest or cooperate. Semiconductor company have cooperate in India now. So I can give you some example. Power Chip is we call it Power Chip Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, PSMC. It's not a TSMC, but a PSMC.
Yeah.
TSMC is a giant company in Taiwan for semiconductor manufacturing. And the PSMC has already have some cooperation. If I am not wrong, I think they already have some cooperation with Tata Group, I think. They already have the cooperation with Tata Group to have some cooperation in a fab in Gujarat, I think. I still remember the number of their projects, about 10 billion or 10.9 or 11 billion something project. And then they are going to cooperate to produce like 28 nanometer chips, okay, for automobile, AI, and the communication. I remember their due dates that by 2026 they are going to have some production about that. And the PSMC have the cooperation with Tata to provide technology transfer. And Tata Group, they leverage India's incentives and market access. I think that's because again, you mentioned that previous question about the policy. I think it's Indian government's policy. They have to have the main part is the Indian company, so they can get some kind of like incentive program like that. So it's a policy. So that's cooperation PSMC with Tata Group already. And another case, I still remember another case is I think it's Foxconn. Foxconn.
Yeah,
Foxconn is not only doing the iPhone assembly only. They also build up some cooperation with the HCL. Foxconn, HCL, I still remember they are going to, they are building some, I think we call it OSAT, outsourced semiconductor assembly and the testing facility in Uttar Pradesh. So they are focusing on like display drivers. And Tata, as I mentioned, that they have the 3.3 billion plan in Assam and targeting like a chip packaging and the testing. So for those, the cooperation is also from a Taiwan semiconductor company, and those company is also very big. So answer the question is that it's not, again, I'm not a spokesperson for the TSMC. I cannot comment on their company policy, but I can show you some evidence, some cases, example that Taiwan company is not neglected India. So they are willing to cooperate. So those big companies also have some investment on that. I think it's a joint manufacturing facility, this kind of cooperation. Yeah, if you want me to find some other cases, there's a lot actually, but I think you got limited time for the podcast. Okay, yeah. Just to share some information.
Yeah, so what you said is for the joint manufacturing program. Here comes like the very next question, since the manufacturing unit will require the talent pool as well. So can India and Taiwan combine their forces, having India's deep software and talent pool, and with Taiwan's hardware and chip making expertise, to build a competitive edge in global semiconductor market, especially for the developing world?
So the question is, can India and Taiwan to combine workforces to cooperate to manufacturing or maybe produce some semiconductor products to the world, right? To the world. Yeah. I think the answer is very clear. It's certainly yes. But the topic is because to the semiconductor industry, in fact, the semiconductor industry is kind of the quite sophisticated and involve the different, we call it value chain, about a different industry structure, you know. So by what or in which segment the India and the Taiwan can fully cooperate, and it's maximize the both benefit again, maximize both benefit. So that's we have to look into detail on that. An example is that I always think to India, you got a lot of the intelligent and very smart software developer. And I think that to the semiconductor industry, upstream, they also have the IC design. Actually, I think that one will be the good part, or maybe I can say faster to combine together to work out some both sides. It's beneficial and fruitful outcome together. So I think the first is IC design, this part. As you mentioned that India got a lot of like a deep software and the talent pool. I think this one definitely we can cooperate together. And Taiwan only got a 23 million population. And India got a huge population there. And also you got a lot of the talent people there. I think especially for developing some product for the developing world, I think it's certainly yes. I think we can dip into on that. The question is how we deepen this kind of cooperation. So we need that one. We needed to discuss that one.
Yes. Okay. So ministry is also sending Indian officials, government officials also to Taiwan so that they can get the complete hands-on training there in Taiwan's industry as well. So we have seen various exchange programs initiated by both the governments in this skilling part as well, so that they all can have this training of trainers and then they can build this skilling ecosystem well in India as well. So
yeah. There's some, in fact, some, you mentioned about a training program back to, I think 6 or 8 years ago. I think in Taiwan, India, we have some training program long time before, okay? And also, that's for the like telecommunication, mobile phone, for those training program to join with Taiwan, and also to the talent development and the knowledge transfer between India and Taiwan. We also have some, we call it the Taiwan Global Semiconductor Visa 2.0. Okay, so they can recruit Indian engineers, and while scholarships attract, I think, 3,000 plus Indian students to Taiwan tech universities. So back to 2016, that time, if I recall, I just recall, check some of the number. At the 2016, it's only 100 Indian students. And back to last year, it's over 3,000. So I think it will get more and more. So that's why I think India, we can, Taiwan can cooperate with this kind of talent development and the knowledge transfer. And otherwise, we have the 39, according to the Ministry of Education in Taiwan, we have 39 Taiwan Education Center in India to promote kind of like a technical training, supporting workforce integration, and even a Mandarin training. So that's another part for the, some kind of the talent development. Also, if we talk about the semiconductor again, about the training program. So we have the Taiwan chip based industrial innovation program. We call it TCIIP. So it's I think it's about 9 billion fund for joint R&D in AI chip and some kind of heterogeneous integration. All right, so that one is also a program we can explore, in the future. I think to Indian side, we got like a semiconductor fabless accelerator lab. They call it FSFAL, I think. So they already partnered with Taiwan Semiconductor Research Institute for chip prototyping. So it's some information can share with our Indian friend in your podcast. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And it here brings me to the very last question. And that is, since you have led one of the most interesting Asia-led initiatives for business and cultural exchange, what's one cultural habit of Indians that surprised you the most?
Oh, it's a very good question. So, okay, this is a good question. You mentioned that so one culture that surprised me. In fact, it's not only one culture surprised me. As I mentioned, I went to India over 20 times. So you know what? After I come back to Taiwan, so many people, they asked me to give the speech to introduce India. So every time when I give my speech about India, I always tell them, they say I went to 20 times, say I'm an expert in India. I told them, no, I'm not at all, not the expert. I'm just the primary school, because every time I went to India, I learned something new. I learned something new. Even I went to India for over 20 times. Every time I see something new. Different province, different city, they got a different culture. A lot of vibrant diversity. So if you want me to say the significant impression to me is so one culture habit or highlights. Actually, to me, I think the Indian culture to me is the too many culture highlight. Okay. So if you want me to give an impression about that surprised me is the too many culture highlights. So it's a vibrant, colorful, and it's South and the North India is very different. And even along the coast, it's different than like Assam.
Yeah,
right?
Northeast.
Northeast, it's very different. So, and also when I went to, I travel globally, okay. So another culture, another surprised me about the Indian culture is you can see Indian culture in many countries. So if you go to Singapore, they got a little Indian, the town, all right, area. I think a district. They got a little Indian district. When I went to give last time, I was invited by the the New Zealand government to visit New Zealand. I found they got an Indian community. Okay, they invite me to what do you call it? Your Indian New Year is called I couldn't remember. Indian New Year is called the light, right? The colorful, yeah, that one.
Diwali.
So Diwali, Diwali.
Yeah.
They got a celebration about Diwali in New Zealand. So they invited me to join their Diwali festival celebration. Wow. I said, oh, New Zealand, you also got the community. And then you went to Melbourne, to Australia. They also got the community for Indian, different culture, very colorful there, and very active, I think. Yeah. So I think it's a vibrant and a lot of the highlight, a lot of the colorful culture about India. So that's why I say, if you want me to talk about one surprised me, that's because they got too many culture highlights. It surprised me.
Thank you, Dr. Dennis Hu, for joining and sharing the wonderful insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me here today.